After successfully snatching up Ronaldinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Messi, your Manchester City also ushered in the first match of the new season, playing away against Charlton Athletic. As the referee's whistle sounded, the match officially began. Van Gaal's tactical intentions were very clear. Relying on the two defensive pillars, Essien and Makelele, he pushed the formation high up the pitch, using intense pressing up front to force Charlton into making mistakes. That's why he didn't start the veteran Stam, but instead fielded the more dynamic Ujifalusi. And you know what? This move really paid off immediately. Just 10 minutes into the game, Manchester City had Charlton completely pinned back, firmly controlling possession. The match reached the 15th minute. Ronaldinho received a precise through ball from Essien. He deftly dribbled past a defender and immediately played the ball to Robben, who was sprinting down the left wing. Without hesitation, Robben powered the ball forward, forcefully outpacing the opposing right-back, Luke Young, and driving straight to the byline. Eto'o, reading the play perfectly, quickly moved up to support. Robben, in perfect sync, delivered a low-driven pass. With a quick glance, Eto'o noticed Mark Fish closing in from behind, so he feinted as if he was going to the byline, and sure enough, Fish took the bait. His body instinctively shifted toward the byline. That was the moment Eto'o had been waiting for. With a sudden pull and a quick turn, he left his marker behind in an instant. Now one-on-one with the goalkeeper, Eto'o showed no mercy. He struck the ball with a powerful shot, leaving Dean Keeley with no time to react, forced to watch helplessly as the ball flew into the net. 1-0, Manchester City takes the lead away from home. On the sidelines, Van Gaal pumped his fists in excitement. This goal was absolutely crucial. For this newly assembled youth squad, such a dream start allowed them to completely shake off any pressure. Even Lineker in the commentary box couldn't help but marvel at how Eto'o showcased his close control and composure in the box to perfection. There are very few strikers in today's football who can pull off a move like that. Alan Hansen nodded in agreement. This transfer by Boswa was a steal. But would Manchester City settle for just one goal? No. Their high press continued. In the 23rd minute, Eto'o again won the ball in midfield and passed straight to Ronaldo on the right. The Portuguese star charged down the byline, unsettling left-back Chris Powell, whose footwork faltered. With a dramatic change of direction, Ronaldo wrong-footed Powell. Without pausing, he cut inside into the box. The centre-back rushed to cover, but Ronaldo stopped and changed direction again, darting back toward the byline. Now at the edge of the 6-yard box, goalkeeper Dean Keeley hurried out to close him down. He tried to block Ronaldo's shooting angle, but the Portuguese star had no intention of shooting at all. Instead, he swept the ball across the face of goal, sending it right into the center of the box. In a flash, Eto'o arrived at full speed and poked the ball into the empty net before Mark Fish could react. 2-0, Manchester City extended their lead on the road without breaking a sweat. The individual brilliance of their stars was simply outrageous. In the 37th minute, they seized another golden opportunity. This was originally a counter-attack by Charlton, and the ball had already been pushed into Manchester City's 30-meter area, but Distin timed his challenge perfectly and surged forward to intercept. With one swift move, he intercepted the ball. Ronaldinho took possession, used a quick feint and drag back to evade the defender, then launched a long pass, perfectly picking out open space on the left wing. A runway for takeoff. Robben accelerated, using his pace to carve out a lane. Facing the goalkeeper, he faked a shot, tricked him, then calmly slotted the ball into the net. 3-0. Manchester City had killed off the game by halftime. Lineker and Alan Hansen were stunned in the commentary box. This youth storm was too fierce, and it was only halftime. With a 3-goal lead, Manchester City also slowed down their attacking tempo at the right time, steadily carrying the score into halftime. As soon as the second half began, Van Gaal made a decisive substitution, bringing on Button for Makelele. This situation was perfect for giving the young players more experience and letting them soak up the atmosphere. In the 55th minute, Manchester City made another change. Kaká came on as a substitute, replacing the experienced Ronaldinho. Seeing this, Lineker immediately perked up. This Brazilian super talent is finally on the pitch. To be honest, I'm really looking forward to his performance. Sure enough, not long after Kaká came on, he got the ball and immediately showcased his unstoppable dribbling. Receiving the ball in the center, he deftly changed direction to shake off his marker, then suddenly accelerated, charging at the defenders who tried to chase him down. They tried to grab him, but in despair, realized they couldn't even touch the hem of his shirt. Just like that, Kaká carried the ball on a long solo run, tearing open the entire opposing defense. Once again facing the on-rushing goalkeeper, he calmly chose to shoot from a tight angle, sending the ball skimming along the grass toward the bottom corner. Unfortunately, with a dull thud, the ball struck the post and bounced out, just as Manchester City fans were sighing in regret. That Portuguese figure appeared like a phantom in front of the ball. Cristiano Ronaldo, quick-witted as ever, followed up and tapped the ball into the empty net. 4-0. Manchester City's attacking firepower was terrifying. Seeing this, Van Gaal told Luca Toni to warm up and get ready to come on. He wanted to use the last 30 minutes to practice the target man tactic. Eto'o, who was substituted, was far from happy. He was just one step away from a hat-trick. But as soon as he saw Van Gaal's stern face on the sidelines, he shrank his neck and dared not protest. Van Gaal's commanding presence was no joke. As soon as Toni came on, the team's tactics changed immediately. He stationed himself in the penalty area, and all the crosses started targeting his head. With Cristiano Ronaldo and Robben, the two speedsters on the wings, able to deliver crosses without any hesitation, chaos once again erupted in Charlton's penalty area. In the 75th minute, Robben sent in another pinpoint cross from the byline. From close range, Toni leapt high, overpowering Mark Fish with a thunderous header, smashing the ball into the net. 5-0. Charlton's fans began leaving the stadium in droves. This match was simply unbearable to watch. In the remaining time, Manchester City calmly practiced their tactics without rushing, and the scoreline did not increase further. In the end, Manchester City kicked off the new season with a dominant 5-0 victory. After the match, commentator Lee Yinkel was full of disbelief. Manchester City displayed the qualities of a highly disciplined, iron-willed team. Their performance today truly amazed me. If they can maintain this form, qualifying for the Champions League is no longer just a dream. Van Gaal's tactical setup for this match also received universal praise. Everyone was praising the Dutch manager, saying he truly had what it takes, having molded Manchester City into such a formidable team. Looking at all these flattering comments, you couldn't help but sneer inwardly. These media people are just fair-weather friends. Today they put you on a pedestal, and tomorrow they'll trample you into the mud. A week later, Manchester City hosted Portsmouth at home. For this match, City still fielded their full-strength lineup, but the result was a real shock. Facing Portsmouth's ironclad defense, the young Eto'o was completely lost and couldn't find any good opportunities. It wasn't until the second half, when Van Gaal brought on Luca Toni, that the situation on the pitch finally started to improve a bit. Manchester City finally broke the deadlock in the 70th minute, with Ronaldo making a late run from deep to score. But in the 85th minute, the young Evra made a reckless challenge on the left flank, directly gifting the opponent a chance to equalise. The final score was set at 1-1. Manchester City were forced to a draw by Portsmouth, right at home. How could the home fans be satisfied with this result? We paid to see a slaughter, and this is what you give us. The fan leader, Grandstone, led a group of hardcore supporters in relentless booing from the stands, their dissatisfaction written all over their faces. Sitting in the VIP box, your expression was equally grim. Still, you weren't too disappointed. After all, it's a new team, and ups and downs in form are perfectly normal. Sure enough, just as you expected, as soon as the match ended, that reporter David Jones jumped out, saying that the first match was pure coincidence, and that this match only exposed Manchester City's true level. Weak up front, reckless at the back. This is the price of putting blind faith in young players. Van Gaal has lost his magic, and tactical mistakes led to the draw. At this rate, Manchester City can basically forget about finishing in the top 4 this season. You just curled your lip in disdain at such comments. Isn't it a good thing to expose problems early on? 3 days later, Manchester City travelled away to face Blackburn. Blackburn had sold their core player Duff in the summer, which greatly weakened their strength. On paper, Manchester City were definitely the stronger side. But the first half of the match left everyone stunned. With goals from striker Tikov and defender Todd, Blackburn actually took a 2-0 lead. During halftime, Alan Hansen couldn't help but sigh, saying that the fluctuations of this young Manchester City team were just too great. They're unstoppable when things are going well, but the moment they face adversity, they could completely collapse. Lineker nodded in agreement beside him, adding that this is a common problem for young teams, and now it all depends on how Van Gaal adjusts. In the Manchester City locker room at that moment, all the players had their heads down. The atmosphere was deathly silent. Only Van Gaal was furiously lecturing the players, while the team doctor was racing against time to give Robben a muscle relaxation treatment. Near the end of the first half, earlier, Blackburn's reckless defender, Andy Todd, brought Robben down with a hard tackle, earning a yellow card. Robben's right leg was injured. After his tirade, Van Gaal quickly walked to the team doctor, brow furrowed, and asked, "How bad is Robben's injury? Can he still play?" The doctor hesitated, then replied, "He can still hold on, but my advice is to let him rest." Van Gaal's brow tightened. They were trailing 2-0, and now Robben was injured. Ronaldo could fill in on the left, but then only young Wright Phillips would be on the right. Milner was still a bit too inexperienced. At such a critical moment when they desperately needed a goal, he really couldn't trust the two youngsters, Phillips and Milner. Just then, a flash of inspiration struck him. He remembered what you had told him before. Ronaldinho's most comfortable position was slightly to the left up front, so there was actually another way for him to coexist with Kaká. For example, let Kaká play in the center and have Ronaldinho operate on the left. With this thought, he suddenly looked up, excitement flashing in his eyes. Now was the time to try that tactic. He immediately made the decision. In the second half, Kaká would come on, and Ronaldinho would take Robben's place on the left. Van Gaal also added a small detail. Since the attacking focus was shifting to the left, Ronaldo on the right would need to make more runs into the box to go for headers. This was exactly the clever tactic you had given him before. After all, Ronaldo had the most incredible leap among the forwards, and using this move could really catch the opponents off guard. The adjustment had an immediate effect. In the 56th minute of the second half, Ronaldinho received the ball on the left and started to cut inside. Andy Todd was immediately shielded off by Ronaldinho's body, and since Todd was already on a yellow card, he didn't dare to foul again. He could only watch helplessly as Ronaldinho charged into the box. Ronaldinho glanced up to check the position of the goalkeeper, Friedel, and without hesitation, unleashed a powerful shot. Blackburn's keeper Friedel did his utmost and barely managed to get a hand on it, but Eto'o ghosted in from the crowd and stabbed the rebound into the net. 2-1, Manchester City pulled one back. The City players didn't even celebrate, they just picked up the ball and ran back to the center circle. In the 67th minute, once again Ronaldinho had the ball on the left. This time, with a flashy elastico, he completely beat Andy Todd. Todd felt he'd been played, and in anger, turned and yanked Ronaldinho down. The referee's whistle sounded, 2 yellows became a red, and Todd was sent off. With only 10 men, Blackburn quickly adjusted, pulling everyone back to defend and trying to hold their 1-goal lead. But every Manchester City attacker was a genius, each able to take on 1 or 2 defenders. Just defending was useless. In the 71st minute, Ronaldinho got the ball on the left and again cut inside sharply, with Evra making a perfectly timed overlapping run. Seizing the moment, a cross was whipped in, and at the far post, Cristiano Ronaldo leapt high and powered a header towards goal. Friedel could only spread his arms in despair as the ball flew into the net. Manchester City had equalized. At this point, the Portuguese winger's physique hadn't reached its peak. He was far from the Ronaldo of later years, but his sense for positioning was innate. Thanks to Ronaldinho's threat on the left, Ronaldo on the right became the main beneficiary. The tactic you instructed, Ronaldo making forward runs down the right, was proving effective. He'd already scored 3 goals this season, and it was clearly becoming one of Manchester City's deadliest weapons. After scoring, Ronaldo was absolutely ecstatic. He sprinted over to the away fans section and roared wildly at the Manchester City supporters. With the score now level, City's morale soared, and they launched wave after wave of attacks against Blackburn. Unfortunately, their finishing luck was lacking today. Van Gaal immediately made another substitution, bringing on Tony in place of Eto'o. To break down such a defensive wall, you needed a battering ram like Tony. Sure enough, in the 84th minute, City seized another opportunity. This time, Kaká carried the ball and switched positions with Ronaldo on the right, charging straight towards the byline. At the same time, Ronaldo also dashed into the box, ready to form a double threat with Tony in front of goal. Kaká shook off his defender and immediately delivered a surgical, pinpoint cross. The 2 aerial threats in the box leapt high at the same time, both aiming powerful headers at the ball. Tony got there first, unleashing a fierce header on goal. Friedel made a flying leap, managing to get his fingertips to the ball for a dramatic save. Defender Lucas Neal quickly booted the ball away, but his clearance didn't go far. It landed right at the top of the box. There, a powerful black player in a sky blue jersey charged onto the ball. It was Lionel. He met the ball head-on and unleashed a thunderous shot. The ball rocketed toward the goal like a cannon shot. Friedel threw himself at it with everything he had, but he still couldn't reach it. 3-2. After Manchester City took the lead, Essien went completely wild, sprinting around the pitch before running straight to Van Gaal and leaping onto him. In the first half, Essien had played disastrously, being involved in both goals conceded, but with this goal, he finally redeemed himself. The teammates rushed over, surrounding the two of them in a wild celebration. Even commentator Lineker couldn't help but exclaim, "This is the magic of a team full of geniuses." To play completely different football in each half and deliver such a stirring match. After the restart, Blackburn still tried to come back, but with Manchester City riding high on momentum, how could they give them another chance? In the final minutes, the score stayed the same. Manchester City pulled off a stunning comeback from 2 goals down to win 3-2 against Blackburn. With 2 wins and a draw, City climbed to 3rd in the standings, just behind Arsenal and Manchester United, both with 3 straight wins. Instantly, many recalled Van Gaal's bold words before the season. Could his boast really be coming true? Still, some poured cold water on the excitement, saying this Manchester City side is still lacking something. They needed a real powerhouse to test their mettle, and that powerhouse was coming right up. Next round, Manchester City would face Arsenal head-to-head at home. This season's Arsenal was in their complete form. In a previous life, they created the legend of an unbeaten championship in this very season. What's more, in the opening matches of this season, Arsenal's form was downright frightening. Not only had they won 3 in a row, but they hadn't conceded a single goal, topping the table ahead of Manchester United on goal difference. Pre-match expert predictions were everywhere, but not a single person thought City could win. In fact, most doubted City could even break through Arsenal's defense. But at the pre-match press conference, a reporter asked Van Gaal if he would play more conservatively, but the Dutch manager responded bluntly, "We will play our own football. Even if our opponent is Arsenal, they shouldn't expect us to turtle up and defend." In an instant, the news that Van Gaal was going to go toe-to-toe with Wenger exploded in the media, and everyone's anticipation was sky high. Time flew by, and on August 31st, 2003, matchday finally arrived. The City of Manchester Stadium, with a capacity of 48,000, was packed to the rafters, a sea of people. You arrived early to the VIP box, sitting with Bernstein to watch the game. As the referee blew the long whistle, this highly anticipated showdown officially kicked off. For this match, Manchester City's starting goalkeeper was Van der Sar. The backline consisted of Sonjihai, Stam, Distin, and Evra. In midfield, there were Essien, Makelele, Ronaldinho, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Kaká. Up front as the lone striker was Eto'o. Robben was out due to an ankle sprain and was expected to be sidelined for about 10 days. As for Arsenal, they fielded their classic unbeaten lineup. Lehmann in goal, Lauren, Kolo Toure, Campbell, and Ashley Cole in defence. Ljungberg, Gilberto Silva, Vieira, and Pires in midfield. And up front, the Iceman Bergkamp partnered with King Henry. On paper, in terms of strength, Arsenal's 3 lines were almost flawless, especially with the attacking combination of Pires, Ljungberg, Bergkamp and Henry, who had played together for several seasons. Their chemistry was simply top tier. But just as Van Gaal said before the match, he didn't hold back at all. He didn't opt for a defensive counter-attack. Instead, he set up his team to go head-to-head in an open attacking game. His main attacking focus was precisely on the side, guarded by Arsenal's right-back Lauren. In the 4-4-2 formation, the space between the defenders and midfielders is particularly easy to exploit, and Ronaldinho's style of cutting in from the left flank really gave Arsenal a headache. In the 10th minute, Manchester City struck first. Ronaldinho easily dribbled past Lauren and charged into the 30-meter area. Seeing the danger, Kolo Toure hurried over to cover and press. Ronaldinho glanced to his right, looking as if he was about to pass the ball to the right wing. Instinctively, Kolo Toure shifted a step to his left, trying to block the passing lane. But Ronaldinho twisted his ankle and sent a direct through ball. His signature move. Eto'o instantly understood, made a run, and poked the ball just ahead of Campbell, sending it straight toward the far corner of the goal. The 34-year-old German goalkeeping legend Lehmann reacted swiftly, diving to the ground and managing to get a toe on the ball, deflecting it just enough for it to graze the post and roll out for a corner. Eto'o held his head in his hands, full of regret, but still gave a thumbs up to Ronaldinho behind him. Ronaldinho just shook his head, his trademark brilliant smile on his face. Even you in the stands couldn't help but feel a sense of pity. The two had combined perfectly, but luck just wasn't on their side. On the sidelines, Wenger quietly breathed a sigh of relief and instinctively glanced back at Van Gaal, only to see the Dutchman frustratedly waving his arms and turning away. Having survived the scare, Arsenal immediately launched a counter-attack. Relying on their formidable midfield and forward line, they quickly took control of the game. In the 21st minute, Pires launched a fierce attack down the left flank, with Sun Jihai quickly stepping up to firmly hold his position, keeping a safe distance of 1 step. The French winger initially thought he could get past him with a simple change of direction, but Sun Jihai's defense was as solid as a rock, giving him no chance at all. Pires frowned slightly, then suddenly accelerated, forcing his way forward to carve out some space, and delivered a cross. The Iceman, Bergkamp, ghosted into the passing lane, and made a beautiful first touch. He followed up with a brilliant chipped pass, the ball tracing a perfect arc just over Stam's head, and landing precisely at Henry's feet. Henry took it in stride, adjusted smoothly without any hesitation, and unleashed a powerful shot. Distin threw himself desperately to block the shot, but he was still a split second too late. Goalkeeper Van der Sar stretched his body to the limit, but it was still out of reach. The ball hit the back of the net, nestling into the top corner. 1-0. Arsenal, playing away, were the first to break the deadlock. On the sidelines, Wenger pumped his fist in excitement. As long as they could score first, this match would be much easier for them. All you can do is shake your head helplessly. There was really nothing to be done about that goal. Henry at his peak was just too strong. His finishing instinct was indeed a notch above Eto'o's current level. On the other side, Van Gaal was furiously roaring from the sidelines, urging his team to stay focused and keep attacking. Wenger, however, remained calm, signaling his players to drop back a bit, control the tempo, and wait for the opponents to make mistakes. Sure enough, in the following period, Manchester City began to take the initiative on the field. Ronaldinho and Kaká took turns launching attacks, throwing Arsenal's defense into chaos. Seeing the situation turning unfavorable, Wenger had no choice but to instruct Gilberto Silva to drop deeper, to strengthen the back line. But the two young Brazilian brothers showed no fear facing their national team senior. With two different dribbling styles, they tormented Gilberto Silva. In the 30th minute, Ronaldinho and Kaká combined again to break through Arsenal's defense. Kaká dribbled to the edge of the box and quickly unleashed a long-range shot. Goalkeeper Lehmann made another spectacular save, diving to push the ball out for a corner. That shot was very dangerous, and Wenger, on the sidelines, furrowed his brow. He knew if they kept getting pinned back, conceding was only a matter of time. So Wenger made a decisive gesture and sent me onto the field. Since you all want to play at this pace, then I'll play along with you to the end. In the last 15 minutes of the first half, both sides went all out, and a wild, end-to-end attacking battle broke out, with transitions so fast, it took your breath away. The match was so thrilling that the fans at the stadium were on fire, shouting with excitement. On one end, Henry had just threatened the goal with a powerful long-range shot, and on the other, Ronaldo immediately responded with a forceful header. Then Ljungberg had barely finished a tricky shot from the edge of the box, when Ronaldinho struck back with his signature cut-in and shot. But such high-intensity attacking also meant a rapid drain on stamina. By the end of the first half, the older Bergkamp was clearly starting to run out of steam. Alright. In the final minutes, Manchester City couldn't seize the chance to score. As the halftime whistle blew, the score stayed 0-1, with City trailing at home. The halftime stats were released. Both teams had 15 shots, 8 from City, 7 from Arsenal. The numbers show this was a clash of titans, a head-to-head attacking battle. After a 15-minute break, the second half began.